Hey guys, it is Dan here from the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. I am joined by Scott and Rob, and we are here to talk all things WWE Night of Champions 2023. And we'll be back right after this message. Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel, we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year, as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features, and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action. Yeah, guys, it is Dan here once again from the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. And yeah, we are here once again with the predictions for WWE's second PLE of the year, of our predictions year. That being
and of the month as well.
And of the month. Yeah, I mean, initially this was scheduled to be King and Queen of the Ring. But obviously, for reasons unknown, WWE have decided to switch the format around and change it. So yeah, we do have Night of Champions instead. And yeah, in what's actually quite strange, this is obviously in Saudi Arabia. We'll get into the matches a little bit in a little bit. But yeah, there is one match, obviously, that I don't think any of us would have seen coming, considering the participants in the match and the PLE being in Saudi Arabia. But yeah, so there is one thing, I guess, to get into before we kick off, and that is to check the predictions table. Obviously, last season, as you guys may or may not have seen, this was the result from last year. Now, going into this year, we have only had one PLE, and this is how the table currently stands after WWE Backlash 2023. Scott sitting at the top there, 7 points. Me on
Feeling
6, good. Lucas on 5, and Rob on 4. So it's getting tight there, boys. It's what is it? They say squeaky bum time.
Yeah, already. I think I actually had a clean sweep. I think I had a clean sweep as well. I think I got every single one right.
Yeah,
which is it should be a bonus point for that. I'm just putting it out there. Maybe we don't do it this year. Don't worry, guys, but something to think about in future. But that's got to be worth a point, surely.
No.
Shut up, Rob.
Mate, you can have a bonus point when I get my trophy from last year.
All right, then. All right.
I still ain't got a trophy from last year. You two obviously too. I've got a Rebellious Noise cup, but yours is chilly. Cool. So yeah, obviously we are here not just to talk about prediction points, but we are here to actually predict the matches on this PLE. Now, usually the Night of Champions format is that every single championship is defended. We obviously know that not to be the case for this show. So we will kick off, I think, with the first match, which is obviously not a championship match, and that is the match between Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar. Now, many could say this match should be for the undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship of the world, because Cody should have won at WrestleMania, but obviously WWE's booking team had different ideas. So yeah, we are going to get straight into the predictions here. I don't actually have like the dice and stuff with me, so I guess we'll just go in like alternate order. So I can start with this one, and then Scott, Rob, and then we'll go to the next one. Next one. So, all right. So obviously there is no Lucas for this one. Lucas's predictions, I guess, will most likely be on the build-up show if he is around for that. If not, then it's nil point. I think we did slightly better at Eurovision this time. I don't know. But yeah, Yeah, New Raw. If you're not here, it don't count. So, yeah, I've just made that one up off the top of my head. But anyway, right. So going to me first of all, Cody Brock. So obviously they faced off at WrestleMania Backlash with Cody Rhodes defeating Brock when Brock locked in the Kimura, and then Cody obviously countered that into, I don't know what it was, like a pinfall. Well, I don't know. It wasn't like a crucifix.
He leant on him. Didn't he just lean on him in pin?
Yeah, just counted it into a pinfall basically,
yeah,
and obviously Cody got the victory there. I have a sneaky suspicion that this is going to be one of those where it's like, well, you get a win, I get a win. Let's have a rubber match to kind of end the feud, kind of thing. So I guess then by that logic, I'm going to have to say that I think Brock Lesnar is going to be the one that comes out of this one victorious. Now, whether it's a clean victory, like a pinfall or submission victory, I don't know. They could do the old pass out spot instead of the tap out spot to make Cody look strong. They could even do it as just like beating him up too much. To be honest, they could even add a stipulation to it, like in the future, because we don't actually know.
Yeah, a few more days to go. But,
yeah, so anything could happen between now and the PLE. But I think if you were asking me where my money's on now, it would be the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar, to be victorious over Cody Rhodes for this one.
Yeah, I'm kind of following on the same lines, to be honest. Quick from Andy here. Evening, gents. Hey, Andy, mate. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're doing well. I don't think Cody Rhodes will be doing well at the end of this night, to be honest. I do think as well it'll be a Brock Lesnar. See, I did that little transition there, boys. I think Brock Lesnar will probably batter him, to be fair, to kind of get some revenge, or he'll kind of get away with it again. That's the only other way they can do it, is that he gets away with it again, and it gets into this storyline where Brock is just furious, and he keeps, like he already is, like kind of annoyed about what happens, and they kind of stretch it out, which they could do, but that seems like the wrong direction. Like, it made sense the way they did it on Backlash, because it was the best of both worlds. It made Cody kind of be smart and get away with it, and Brock look strong. You don't want to turn Cody into a plucky underdog that gets away with things. That's not the kind of character I think they need for him. So unless they were doing that, I don't see Cody winning. I think it is about getting that win back for Brock, and then maybe Cody wins the whole feud next month or something like that. Like Dan says, going in for the rubber, but I don't know. Not entirely sure of that, but I think it's more likely at the moment, even though I think the person likely to win the feud is Cody. And I don't see this needing to go on much further than it already has. Not that it's been bad, but Cody's obviously due to do something else. So, yeah, for me, it makes the most sense personally for Brock Lesnar to get his win back here in Saudi Arabia.
And a little fact for you guys as well, Brock Lesnar's actually wrestled at every single PLE so far this year.
Wow,
most work he's done in years, isn't it?
This actual year, or our kind of predictions year? Because I knew
one.
So I guess he means
in 2023.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's wrestled every single event in 2023 so far.
He's having fun, isn't he?
Exactly.
Watch him not bother coming over here for Money in the Bank.
Oh yeah, good point. We'll see about that.
Imagine that.
Is that the next PLE actually?
Seemingly, I'm literally just trying to get the list up. Yeah.
Yeah, it must be. I doubt there's anything in June.
Yeah, at the moment that's what's scheduled in.
Big build out to Money in the Bank. Oh, I should have thought about that, because can I really see Cody Brock happening here? I guess, but then maybe Cody being in Money in the Bank. Anyway, I'm going on. Rob, what do you reckon has happened? Especially now that you have that extra information that it's probably the next PLE in London.
Well, that has swayed me. I'll be honest. You fool. So originally I thought Brock's going over, but imagine, let me just set the scene here, guys. Cody is at the top of the ladder, the Money in the Bank.
Oh,
out to get the briefcase. Out comes the Beast Incarnate.
Oh, yeah, it's a good point.
And wrecks him and stops him from getting that briefcase.
Yeah,
rolling it over to SummerSlam, keeping it busy. That's got to happen, right?
Yeah, and in order for that, Cody does need to go in his plucky underdog almost thing for a little bit in order to be really making Brock furious, right? So
yeah, So Cody's got to win now, right? So I think I might have talked myself into
no.
Cody, I'm going Cody.
Yeah, that's a great shout,
going...
man. That is a great shout.
So you're going to go with Cody for this?
Because I can picture that. That's perfect. Brock comes out and ruins Cody's chances, and then that does lead in, because I was like, Cody needs to do something next. Well, that's what the next thing probably is. This kind of, I try to win them. I need to find my way back to Roman, and I can't. You know what I mean? And Brock distracts him for a bit. Look, that's great, man. Also great, of course, is Daniel Wiley joining us again, buddy. Thank you so much, mate. Thank you for joining us, whether you're live or on demand. We always appreciate anyone that comes along and comments. So yeah, let us know what you think is going to happen, guys, at Night of Champions. So is that all of us? We all locked in for match one?
Mm-hmm.
We are indeed, yeah. So let's move over to the second match. The one I have on my list is for the Raw Women's Championship. They are still calling it that, and it is SmackDown's Bianca Belair, the longest reigning women's champion now of the modern era in WWE. Congratulations, Bianca. Very, very well deserved. And yeah, she will be taking on I don't know if she still goes by the Empress of Tomorrow, but yeah, she's taking on Asuka in this match, obviously having already seen off. Who was it she beating? Was it Asuka she beat in Puerto Rico? I can't remember now. It's that long ago.
No, it wasn't Asuka, was it? It was, I can't remember.
No, who was it? Who did she beat him?
I can only remember the other match now. Who did she face?
Who did she beat in Puerto Rico? Comment section, please tell me.
No, we can be desperate on that.
Who was it? Oh, it was Shots.
No, it wasn't Shots. It was a great match.
Io Shirai, that's it. Io Sky, that's it. Yeah,
it was a very good match.
As well, that one.
Yeah.
I knew it was someone.
Mate. Oh, wait, we're getting old. Memory's going quick.
Anyway, we got there in the end, boys.
Yeah.
We got there in the end. So, so I went first last time, so we'll throw it round to Scott for this one, and then Rob will go first on the next one.
Mm-hmm. Just before we do get to Daniel's comment again, imagine if Roman becomes tag champ. We got a lot to say about that. I'm sure Daniel, so stick around when we get to that match. I've got a lot to say. Right, this one though, Bianca versus Asuka. It's kind of a hard one to pick because I genuinely have no idea where to go with it now. You think, was it just getting that big, title reign, as Dan mentioned earlier on, record breaking out of the way? Do you just make her lose it straight away? Because it kind of, we've said for a while on this channel, whether it be on build-up shows, predictions, recaps, and reviews, Bianca, as much as we all love her, it's getting a little stale. At some stage you got to freshen it up. Now, I think we could all see this milestone coming and understood that that's what they might be kind of targeting. But now that it's done, if they had a few months to be thinking, like, if it weren't for this milestone, it'd be on X, Y, or Z. And Asuka is one of those people where you think, why not? Because she ain't done much for a while, and when she came back, it looked like she was going to get emphasis behind her, and maybe she fell into a bad time because of the Bianca thing. So maybe now it's time to pull the trigger. If they don't, then I don't know what Asuka needs to do in that company anymore. That's the way I see it. But you could also probably argue that maybe that ship has sailed anyway. So tough one, man. I really don't know where to go with this because I don't think the first opportunity to lose it after breaking the record is what they're going to do.
It's a bad move, isn't it?
It is, it doesn't look good. But then again, it felt like she should have lost it about 3-4 months ago. And that holding up, I'm not being harsh, but to freshen it up. If it was literally about holding on to that record, which I respect and agree with as well, then they should see that, it needs freshening up anyway. So this is a way to do two of those things. So giving it to Asuka. But we've still got this confusion of the brand situation as well. So, you know what? And if is Asuka on SmackDown?
Yeah, both of them are.
I think so. Yeah.
Right. So if anyone's more likely,
basically, the only thing that's different is the actual title name.
Yeah. So the only we've said before, maybe the champion will just get traded back. I could see that being more the case with Asuka and justifying it in storyline than with Bianca suddenly being traded back. So I'm kind of leaning towards it for that. And that kind of, we talk about the behind the scenes, of course, sometimes they like to keep couples together as well. So maybe, man, I'm talking myself in and out of everything as well here. So I don't know, man. Let's say I'm going to bring up the graphic again just to kind of make me feel a little bit more inspired.
Does that help?
Can I see Asuka coming away with a title? I don't know, man. I'm going to say I don't want to commit, man. I don't want to.
You got to pick one of them.
I know. Right, I say. Who else is gonna beat her? Who else? Like, someone's gonna beat her. Asuka's doing it. And I'm committing now. And this is gonna annoy me if she doesn't. Asuka's doing it. All right, flipping it.
I love the enthusiasm as you said that. That's I believed you for a second. Just she's doing it, and I stopped believing you.
All right.
So you're going for Asuka to win the title, yeah?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I've done it. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Well,
this is where I first start losing points.
Talking of titles, we'll just quickly throw over to a comment that we have here as well.
Hey. Hey, all right, yeah. I also have thrown away. Look, it's only 115 financial regulations that you've got to compete with. So what can I say? It is what it is. Man City are a fantastic team. Club, not so much, in my opinion, but fantastic team. One of the best of all time, I would say. So there it is. That's what you're competing with these days. I know this ain't a football stream. We do have a football channel, so appreciate if you hopped over there as well, Daniel, for us in the future as well. But yeah, it is what it is. And well, I didn't see you guys.
You can just banter him off about Arsenal on there, to be fair. Who's he support?
Yeah. I'm not sure who Daniel supports. But yeah.
Let us know, Daniel, who do you
unless
support?
It was Man City. Come on, no one can say anything to us. We actually put up a challenge this year. Who else did? Come on. Right.
I mean, we won a trophy at least.
Yeah,
and West Ham were in the final.
But... Yeah.
Do you know who does put up a challenge?
You might end up with silverware at the end of this, still. We actually competed, 38 games.
Oh, there we go.
32
games. He's just rendered his whole point irrelevant.
Well, no, I respect Liverpool. They did great the past few years. The fact that they managed to win the title against Man City is an incredible achievement, I think, in this day and age. But anyway, yeah, very off topic. But thanks for your comment either way, Daniel.
Back to wrestling.
Yeah.
Do you want me to bring it back?
Go on.
As a good challenge, because Arsenal did put up a good challenge. You know who else is a great challenger? Asuka. Because I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next. Did you like that?
Nice. So smooth.
Welcome. You're welcome. Smooth. I feel like I'm in the same boat as you, to be honest. Because on the one hand, I'm like, Bianca's got to lose it at some point. On the other hand, if anyone's going to win it right now, it needs to be Asuka because they've invested the new look. She come back at Rumble. They fumbled it, done nothing with it.
Yeah.
Built it up again, fumbled it again. Is it got to be third time lucky? And if she doesn't, as you said, what else is there left?
Who's ready to be Bianca? Like, maybe there's a glaring one I'm missing, but it doesn't feel like it.
I don't know, because I mean, the match that we got against Io, like at Backlash, was amazing.
Yeah.
We said so much good stuff about it, and we literally said, when they're given time, this is the content that we get to see in women's wrestling, and it was amazing. The whole match itself was amazing. And I actually said to you, the interruption at the end, I didn't even need it. I would have been happy with the clean finish.
Yeah.
So if that's the direction we're going with women's wrestling and allowing them to actually showcase what they can do, then I think moving it over to Asuka is a good shout. But I'm still stuck in this situation of, can they turn Bianca heel when she's doing all this stuff as a babyface? So is it got to be one of those organic, the crowd hates me, the crowd doesn't like me, and she then turns on the crowd that way?
Yeah, I think she has to still be champ, or at least for a bit longer, if that's going to be the case. And I don't think it is at the moment. So I guess weirdly enough, the more likely thing is starting to feel like Asuka, which is, I didn't feel like that when we started this stream.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Like I want to see Asuka win it, and I want to see them actually do something with, because the NXT version of Asuka was something different to what we've seen on the main roster. Obviously, she got fed to Charlotte, and since then she's not been able to kind of rebuild that fire and reignite herself. The same with Shayna Baszler, different version in NXT than we've got on the main roster. Again, another wasted, wrestler that is amazing. So I want to see something happen with Asuka, but I want to see it happen. I want to see her be the heel, and then maybe, I don't want to say a double turn, but Asuka to be the heel, and then they build this from here. So I think Asuka, I don't think she's going to do it yet. I don't think we're going to get a title, because we're getting a crowning title or crown champion in Night of Champions.
Yeah,
so that's what's also making me think we're not going to get a couple. Yeah. So I'm gonna say Belair, but I think this is her decline. I think this is the final.
That's a good point actually. Yeah, because it could just happen next month instead. Yeah, you're right. Again, I've gone too soon without thinking of future PLEs. What have I done?
Like Arsenal, peak too early, mate.
Hey, shut up. Let's move it on to Dan.
So yeah, obviously it's strange. So I went into this with, like, I've said to you guys previously, like, my mindset is I'll always go in with like my predictions kind of written down of who I think is going to win, and mine has said from the get-go Bianca's winning. Now, the Asuka thing is quite interesting, actually. But what I'm thinking now, and it is obviously with the hindsight of long-term booking and what's coming up, is I feel Bianca's going to win, and then it will lead to possibly a heel Bayley winning Money in the Bank. And then having the heel Bayley, obviously, because I always think with the Money in the Bank, it works better when you've got like a heel that's going after a baby face, because then it can be that literally at any moment, whereas like a baby face doing it is just like a bit, that's a good pop, it's not as like as kind of,
and what a heel move as well, man, to end this iconic long reign with a cheap Money in the Bank win. You know what I mean? Like it's a great idea.
But would it be done on the same night?
Yeah, and I think as well. No, I don't think Triple H will do that.
I hope not.
No, because I think what they'll do is, I think it'll be one of these where she'll hold it for a while still. I think definitely through SummerSlam she'll hold it. But then again, I guess SummerSlam could. Well, actually, if we do go down the Bayley route, then Bayley is like beloved here in the UK. Like she'll just get like the biggest. I reckon she'll actually get a big babyface pop though if she was to do it over here. But,
I think winning the Money in the Bank is one thing, isn't it? But yeah, because there's excitement. But cashing in, they should probably do it elsewhere.
Yeah, I reckon I reckon it won't be. I'll be honest with you. I'd be surprised if it's actually this year. I reckon she could hold it through the rest of 2023. To be honest.
Wow.
But yeah, it's a tricky one, because it's obviously, if there wasn't Money in the Bank, then I think there would be more kind of traction in the Asuka winning kind of vote. But because we've got Money in the Bank, because I mean, we've got Rhea Ripley over on Raw as the SmackDown Women's Champion, Bianca on SmackDown as the Raw Women's Champion. So I'm guessing you're either going to have a babyface to win it from the Raw side of things to then possibly challenge Rhea, obviously, or a heel on SmackDown challenging Bianca. And I think that's the way they're going to go. Is I think a heel's going to win it from the female side of it, then go on to face Bianca eventually. So yeah, that's basically me saying in a roundabout way, Bianca is going to be the one I think is victorious here, purely because of what potentially could happen with the Money in the Bank briefcase.
That makes sense. Yeah. All very different kind of routes, so quite interesting.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think every single one of them you could see happening as well, which is I guess it's one of the best things about this is like we can have those kind of debates about it, and it's like every single one of them makes sense and you can see happening. And
all possible,
that's and that's the thing. It's Paul, obviously, if you're listening, mate, there's a few ideas for you there of how you can book this going forward. If you do want to do want to book any of it, then just drop one of us a message and just send us a tweet or
we'll write down
RN Pro Wrestling. Yeah, we'll send you a copy of this. What's it, Paul? Paul Triple H at WWE.
Yeah, no, it's just HHH at WWE.com. I hope that's his email address.
He's got his own website, www.hhh.com.
Well, that would have been a thing. Yeah, all the wrestlers used to have their own website, so he must have had at the time.
Yeah. Oh, bloody hell. Right, let's get back on to let's talk about Monday Night Raw now. So going back over to Raw, and we go with the Intercontinental Championship, which is Gunther versus Mustafa Ali. And this one, we will start with you, Rob.
If Gunther loses, I'm going to be furious. Furious. Yeah. So, look, I get they're trying to build stars, right? And I think there's a time and a place to build a star. They tried to do it more than once with Mustafa Ali. He's a fantastic wrestler. He has, when he first come out with the hand, the laser kind of glow stuff, great. Yeah. And they've done a really bad retribution stuff. Look, any other time it would have been great. During COVID, where there was no fans to react to it, it was bad. It was awful. But I just can't see Ali right now doing beating Gunther. Like it doesn't. I mean, in my mind, if Sheamus and Drew can't do it, there's no way Ali should be doing it. And I mean that in the most respectful way. Yeah. So the only answer is Gunther, because I think it makes sense. And is the longest. Is it the longest in the modern age?
Another one of those modern era type. Yeah.
I think he needs to I think it's in September.
Oh, okay.
He needs to beat the Honky Tonk Man. I think, in my opinion, if they want to do that, they have someone lined up already. Someone good, someone for the records. Obviously, I don't know if you've seen recently, the things still floating around on what he's done is transitioned his body to how he was to now. He's a favourite. And I think if you're going to do anything like that, put the work in, then I think that's a reward is doing this sort of stuff. And I think Gunther's going to do it. So Gunther is my answer.
Cool.
For me, I think it's this one is obviously, I think for me, quite cut and dry, and that Gunther's going to win this one. Don't see Mustafa Ali doing it. The only thing I would have thought was if they have Mansoor here, I think there would have been more of a case for it, because obviously then you get the hometown pop kind of thing. But I think obviously WWE are all about this, getting more of the modern records and that. I mean, I think at the moment Gunther has, I'm just double checking. So Gunther currently has the record for the longest reign since the Honky Tonk Man. Longest reigning champion in 30 years, and I think it's September time that he will. So basically, he'll have to hold it through SummerSlam. After SummerSlam to actually break the all-time record. So I don't see him losing this title anytime soon, to be honest. So yeah, my smart money is on a Gunther retention for this one.
Yeah. Nice and easy for me as well. In some ways, you could argue that, as Rob said earlier on, making a new star, and it looks like they're trying to do something different with Mustafa Ali as well, which I'm all for, and I want him to do well, but it doesn't feel like the kind of all-conquering, coming to an end reign situation for Gunther. So it doesn't make sense for me. But I could see it. Everyone talks about still to this very day, should the streak have gone to someone that it could have made a star? Well, this could make a star in Mustafa Ali as well. So that'd be a great way to start a new. Someone's got to be the next champion. Do you know what I mean? So there is that. Also on top of that is that, of course, he's not from Saudi Arabia, but I do think there is possibly a kind of theory of an Asian representative as well. So I think there is that possibility of a massive pop in Asia. That would be incredible. But yeah, I'm not quite sure if that's what we're getting here. It feels more like, if anything, closer to the fact that Zelina Vega got a big moment in Puerto Rico. Again, he's not from Saudi Arabia, but I think they can kind of be booking it in that kind of same sort of style. Same as if Sheamus won something in London and, somewhat of a home crowd because he's from this this side of the ocean sort of thing. So is the way they kind of see it. So yeah, I think it's pretty simple. Like, if he doesn't win, I'd be massively shocked, and I don't know if I'd be annoyed about it either, because it just means he's moving on to bigger and better things. But it would be nice if he got that complete record. I think it would be really cool.
I think if something was, I don't want to say lined up, but the idea of, let's say for example, Gunther having Money in the Bank, I don't like the idea of it, because if he's a ring general, he controls the ring, and the idea of him maybe having a brief cut, I don't think it's a good move. And then if he's not going to be the one to dethrone Roman, whoever has obviously when we get onto it, the World Heavyweight, if you were going to do something and use Gunther that way, you would have just had him in that tournament, and do you know what I mean? And put him in that position to line up straight away. So I just think if they've not gone that route and they're not going the Roman route, then solidify him as the IC. So it to me, that's the only reason I'm like, it has to be Gunther, because if he's gone this far already, it'll be ridiculous now to break. If it was like 100 days, it won't make a difference, but he's now so close that it's strange to not do it.
Yeah.
It's like the Roman with 1,000 days.
Yeah, it would be weird.
So, yeah,
gotta be Gunther.
Yeah, so we're all going for Gunther for that one.
Yep,
quite simple. So he's obviously going to be, well, we think, breaking the record for longest reigning Intercontinental Champion. So now let's see who else is going to write the name into the history books as the first holder of the brand new World Heavyweight Championship. And this match features Seth freaking Rollins and AJ Styles. Now, a lot's been said about this one because obviously it's a Raw title. You've got a Raw superstar versus a SmackDown superstar. Strange. Then obviously there's the whole thing in the news about WWE not being overly keen with Seth because he keeps going and doing a lot of movies, so they don't know if he's going to be around, blah, 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 all that stuff.
I don't buy any of that, by the way. I think that's a load of rubbish.
I mean, and then obviously Edge did something good to kind of try and hype stuff up as well.
Yeah, that was great. I genuinely started to believe it and started to think, I don't know if that's a bad idea. Maybe I'm on board with that. So,
see, I'm against that.
I thought that was great.
I'm not against the idea, right? Yeah. But this is my thing that I was against. Let's say Edge did do it. He was in the final now. Let's say it was Edge versus AJ, Edge versus Seth, whoever. Right, and it was Edge. He'd then go to Raw. Fine, I'm not against that either. But then the minute Edge loses, that's it. He's gone.
Yeah. You doesn't
elevate the title because the thing we're talking about is a retirement.
The idea is great, but it shouldn't be with the first.
It shouldn't be now.
So I think it's still possible though. So
yeah, I think they've teased that. And I think they're going to use it.
And I think the reason that he went and did it for that specific title was because, and the thing, I think WWE still don't know what they're doing with the lineage of this title, because the way Edge was talking was as if it was carrying on the lineage from the old World Heavyweight title. And if it's continuing the lineage of the old World Heavyweight title or the big gold, then obviously that was the title Edge was holding when he was forced to retire the first time round. So that in that sense, it makes complete sense as to like, oh yeah, I never actually lost that title all those years ago. I had to retire. My body basically broke down on me. But yeah, and then if that, because the thing is weird because they're basically advertising this as like the inaugural champion, and obviously Seth making a bit of history, first person to, or the only person to compete in the title matches to become the inaugural NXT champion, the inaugural Universal champion, and now the inaugural World Heavyweight champion. I can't remember who it was. So I think it was, who was it he faced in the NXT one? Jinder Mahal. So it's Jinder Mahal, Finn Balor, and now AJ Styles that he's facing to become the first champion.
Former champions as well.
Yeah.
All three, yeah. So yeah, this one obviously goes to me first. It is for me. It's a little bit tricky because obviously they're building up AJ a little bit with this whole thing with the OC. Seems like, being away for a while, having the injury, but I just don't see the point of them putting it on somebody that's a SmackDown superstar. I just think it was a stupid thing to do, because now if it is Seth that wins it, it's gonna make that entire tournament look pony, because it's gonna be like, well, why would you even put the SmackDown people in it when it's a Raw title? Surely you got enough talent on Raw that you could have just done a tournament on Raw. If you're using 6 people to do 2 triple threats, you chuck 2 more in. You do 4 quarterfinals, 2 semi-finals, and a final. That to me would have made more sense. But obviously, I'm not booking Raw, so I don't know what their kind of mindset is over this. But yeah, I guess for me, that's a long-winded way round saying Seth Rollins, I think, is going to come out of this with the nice new shiny championship belt. And yeah, I think he's going to carry the belt through to see us over in the UK when Money in the Bank comes here. So yeah, Seth Rollins for me is my pick.
Interesting points. All right. So before I jump into mine, I'll bring up Daniel's comment here saying he also thinks Seth will become World Heavyweight Champion. I also see that Sludge Sports has joined us as well in the comments. So thank you for joining us once again, mate. And again, everyone, let us know what you think is going to happen, whether you're watching live or on demand. But yeah, bring it back around to me. Seth Rollins is winning. I mean, it has to be. I don't buy any of this rubbish about WWF cold feet around. Sure, this title has been designed for Seth Rollins to win, in my opinion. I know there was a lot of talk before about potential for Finn Balor or Seth and then other names. And again, Edge kind of made a good point in case himself. But this is to reward Seth, in my opinion. Is it still the secondary title? Yes. Is it a consolation title, in my opinion? Yes. Can it be made to mean something? Yes. Should it be continuing the lineage of the World Heavyweight title? Yes. But we'll see where we go with all that. And I do think Seth is the man to do that. I think he's had an incredible, not just year, 2 years. I always try and bring it back to a few years ago when I did a Talking Beans episode with Tom. And I think the title or something like that, or the description was like, why Seth Rollins isn't cool anymore. Seth Rollins is cool again. Like, he's been amazing. He's been fantastic, So it's he's reinvented himself and he fully deserves to be the champion, in my opinion. So I think it should be Seth. I think it will be Seth. And AJ's a little curveball, I think. I think it's going to be a fantastic match. Really looking forward to the match itself. And then on top of that, the tournament, the SmackDown situation was a bit odd because it was clearly, in my opinion, unless we get another swerve, going to a Raw guy, it makes sense to put on a Raw guy, and it makes sense to put on Seth. So you put those 2 things together. But I think the SmackDown thing was just to kind of put content on SmackDown and to make it seem like it's not obvious and to kind of, there could potentially be a swerve. And I will say as well, like the matches themselves, from what I saw, really entertaining. Really enjoyed both of them on Raw and on SmackDown. And the finals as well. So I don't usually like this whole triple threat thing. I would have usually preferred if you got me to book it, as Dan said earlier on, a quarters, a semis, and then whatever, traditional normal bracket. But I actually really enjoyed the triple threat matches. So I've enjoyed pretty much everything they've done about it so far, except for the fact it's a clear consolation prize. The design is I like it and I don't like it at the same time, and the lineage should continue from the old one. But all in all, I've been pretty pleased with the quality of the matches surrounding it, and I think we're going to get exactly the same here. And I think it has to be Seth Rollins coming out on top. But yeah, what about you, Rob?
I think if anything, this is the hardest match to call.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they got the whole whoever wins goes to Raw. Obviously, AJ isn't Raw; he's SmackDown, right? So they took AJ, Anderson, Gallows, and Mia Yim over to SmackDown. So if that means AJ goes over, do those three come back again? Is it just AJ? Is there complications? What happens? Like, does he do that? Did he lose it at Money in the Bank? That would be my obviously, because they then have to book something next for whoever wins it. It needs to be like defended straight at Money in the Bank. So it wouldn't make sense for me, in my opinion, to have it as AJ, then him lose it and then go forward back onto SmackDown, because he'd just be hot potatoing himself on a different show. So that's my first thought. My next thought, though, was if Seth does get it and he is doing all these movies and things like that, he's not going to be around to defend it. And then it feels like it's another cop-out with Roman. But I don't know how many... Dan, is there a number of how many movies Seth's doing? Is it just the one thing that he's in? Because obviously we don't know what's going on with that. Obviously, he's just in that one movie right now, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I've only heard the one. And
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So I don't know, because like, is that a red herring? Is it just there to make?
I think either people making up a load of rubbish, which happens a lot in the world of wrestling journalism.
It does.
But also, it could be, like you say, a red herring and put out there by WWE, which I wouldn't be surprised by either. I just don't buy it one bit.
Yeah. I just the idea of AJ winning it and then being transferred over again, and then what? So he loses it. Does that make him back a SmackDown competitor again? It just there's no.
And things have been complicated enough with these titles, right? You know, this is why they've got this title in the first place, so they can't make it even more complicated.
Like the lineage, in my opinion, it's a brand new title, and as much as I love the big golden stuff, that was unified with the WWE.
Yeah, you need to ununify it.
So you'd have to ununify it.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
Yeah.
So everyone that's then won the WWE Championship, then what?
But then, to be honest, for me, going on that point, it's like, if it's a brand new title, give it a brand new name.
Yeah.
It's like, because I think the minute that you call it the World Heavyweight title, everyone is then going to go back to, oh, is it the same as that one? It's like when you go for, say, like if they made the tag team titles into the World Tag Team titles and the WWE Tag Team titles, it's like, well, okay, are they going to continue on the lineage of the old title belts? And it's like, well, who knows, kind of things.
Yeah.
I think it would have been just a lot easier if they'd have just said, okay, so you've got, Roman's is the undisputed, like, Universal Championship. And then even if they just, I don't know, just called it something totally new or something like.
Yeah, but they tried that and they come up with Universal, so don't trust that either.
the intergalactic, the Galaxy Champion.
But are you going with Seth then, Rob?
I don't know. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, in the nicest way, I like both guys. But if Seth's doing other stuff, I want to see him on the TV all the time, and I want to see the title defended. So this is my thing. If it's not a red herring and he is doing a film and there's a lot of days shooting and stuff like that, and he's not going to be there, don't forget he's got a family as well. That's the other thing, right?
Yeah.
That are on the road. So he'll be traveling away. That means Becky would be traveling on her own with the baby and then back and forth and all that. So obviously that will be uncomfortable for them as a family. So I don't think they'd do that. Obviously they would allow her to take time off, possibly, or do something, right? So that's the first thing that comes to mind. I was like, oh, how are they going to figure that sort of stuff out? Then we need a champion that's going to be on the TV. If they're going to have a champion on TV, then they're not going to give it to the person that's away from the TV because he's shooting a film. Is that
but I don't think he's been shooting already and he's still been on TV. So I don't think it's going to get much worse. And again, I mean, I know these things take a long time, but if he had a fairly long reign and he's the kind of person you see with a title on a red carpet. So I could see that as well. So I don't think the film thing is anything to do with the title. I don't.
Yeah. So this is my thought. So if it is to do the title's to do with the film, and obviously that's why they're not sure, then they won't give it to Seth. But then if they give it to AJ, he's then going to Raw, and then when he loses it, what does he just go to SmackDown? Like, does he stay on Raw? Like, what happens? Yeah. It just seems messy. So like, I would have rather it have been neither of those, and the next person in line would be one of those guys. Like I said at the beginning, the minute it was announced, I was like, it should be someone like Bobby Lashley. I think he'd be perfect for that title. Yeah. But obviously, we haven't gone down that road. I'm gonna say Seth.
Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, but if he was in the thingy, like it was in the tournament. Obviously, he got his head busted open. He wrestled.
Yeah, he was the one from the SmackDown side I was most.
Yeah, so if he'd gone to Raw, it wouldn't have been a big deal with Lashley going Raw because he could have stayed there. So
he was injured bad.
Do you know what I mean? So I just don't get. I don't like what they've done. I don't like everything they've done about this title. To me, has been absolutely messy.
Yeah, outside of the matches themselves, it's been a bit complicated.
Yeah, the whole stuff is just complicated. It's messy, and it's it's typical WWE booking. The idea of we're going to give Roman both titles because it looks good. Well, now we've got to take one off him, but he can't lose the titles because we've got to. It's my how do they as a company?
They had the perfect way of doing it as well. What you do, you have him to lose the title at WrestleMania, and then you have Cody come out the next night and say, "Look, I only want to win the WWE title. I don't want this one. That can go on the other brand. Cody stays where he is. Bang, there you go. You've got your two titles. You got them split." Roman
I would have done that. I would have made Roman defend night 1, night 2. Done. That's how I would have done it.
Oh, we're in this situation now.
Yeah, and this is worse than this one.
So come on, let's get with it. AJ or Seth? What are we going with?
Oh man. It's if it's going to be anyone, I think it's got to be Seth because AJ's been away with a broken ankle. Obviously, that's not his fault, but Seth's why that's been happening. Seth's gone from a heel to a babyface to, conducting the crowd to sing his song before he even comes out. So, I guess if it's going to be anyone, as you said, red carpets, promo, all this sort of stuff, I think it's got to be Seth. So, Seth.
So I'm locking in Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so we now get on to the final match that's been announced for this show, and that is for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships, where Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn will defend against the Bloodline, not the Usos, but Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. Strangely, though, Roman doesn't have the titles with him in that picture. So potentially Paul Heyman was holding them while he was having that taken. But so Scott, throws to you for the first prediction on this one. It's just interesting, I guess, to note, though, that obviously this is the first time Sami Zayn is going to Saudi Arabia as well. And first time Kevin Owens is going since the Greatest Royal Rumble. So
so hopefully that'll be a positive thing and it will all go smoothly. Looking forward to it. I think the match itself is one I'm excited to see. The Bloodline's dynamic is starting to get interesting again for me since Roman came back. I think it's been quite good what they did on SmackDown. Daniel says here, when do you think the Bloodline will split up? Well, I don't think it's just yet, but I do think we're on the way. They did a very good job of that kind of Roman accidentally walking into and Solo and being a bit shook himself. So that was quite cool. I think that's just kind of playing people into like, then maybe not on the same page, but I just like I did with the last PLA, I predict that was kind of just a red herring and they're going to stay together for a bit longer. Not sure if they're going to win the titles here, but I really, 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 really hope they don't. I think in any other time I would have been like, you know what, screw it, man. 4 titles around Roman. I know that's the meme at the moment. People keep photoshopping more titles to him and stuff like that.
Roman 4 belts.
Yeah, but at the same time, we've created a title out of a messy situation that people are already annoyed about. Don't rock the boat. Don't give him some more. Is what I would say. Any other time.
Do we not think that he's? Do we not think he's going to insert himself into the World Heavyweight title, make it a triple threat?
Why not?
Roman
Why not steal that title straight away? And by the way, if that doesn't main event, the World Heavyweight title match, if that doesn't main event, come on, they've told us what they think about that title. I mean, it's already a consolation prize. It could become something. I don't want anyone to take that as disrespect. Anyone that's in the match or anything like that, it could be made to mean something. But they need to start off right by making it in the main event. But anyway, this could potentially main event. I think I'm going to go with what I think should happen, and that's Sami and Kevin retain. Again, any other time I would have been up for this. But this is kind of like Sami's chance to actually beat Roman as well. So, like, they would be silly not to play into that again. Whether or not there is potential for a hostile crowd, I don't know because of the history there. But Sami was getting cheered and chants for him last year when he didn't go. So I think the fans are still going to be behind him. So, not to get into that kind of political thing and why he won't go in the first place. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be a good match. I think it's going to lay the seeds for future Bloodline issues. If the Usos somehow cost the Bloodline, would be fascinating to see. But yeah, I don't know.
Inadvertently
or even on purpose, because even that,
because the rumor is, rumor is at the moment Usos versus Roman and Solo at Money in the Bank. That's at the moment. That's the rumor.
That seems wasted to me. But then again, it is in London, big occasion and stuff like that. But like, that's the SummerSlam match. Like, you know what I mean? So, maybe Usos. I'm not going to bonus point it, guys.
Roman losing the title is the SummerSlam match. Roman losing the belt is the SummerSlam match.
I don't know if Roman's ever.
You ain't throwing a tag title match away for him losing the belts.
But yeah, we'll see.
Colin Delaney's going to come back and win him.
Oh, now I'll buy it. Yeah, all right. Bonus point me that. No, okay, don't actually. But yeah, I think it should be just laying the seeds for a Bloodline kind of turmoil rather than changing it. Any other time I would have said, yeah, why not, man? It'd be fun. But like, this is a risky time for it. I think it'd be the wrong decision. So I hope they're on my side with that and that they're going to go that way. So I'm going to trust in WWE by saying it's going to be Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens that get the win.
All right. This is interesting.
Oh,
look yourself in, guys. So I'm gonna bonus point, but I need to be very specific.
Yeah,
because I've been screwed out of bonus points before. Okay, and let's not bring up from last season.
All right, carry on.
No. This isn't a part of my. This is just a general prediction, and I'll tell you my bonus point after.
Cool.
So I think at Night of Champions, Roman will take his very first pinfall since being a champion. And I think that would be at the hands of Sami Zayn, and that will be Sami's reward, being the only person in the last 3 years or whatever to pin Roman at Saudi. I think that's a perfect crowning moment is at Saudi, the crowd goes bananas, and that's just, to me, that's just like a nice cherry on the top, right? So I think that's what I would like to see happen. My bonus point is the Usos will cost Roman and Solo the match.
See, that's how what? Whack a bonus point on me as well. Whack a bonus point on me.
You've done yours.
No, you can add a bonus point at any time. You can add a bonus point at any time.
When did that rule come in?
I don't know when that became a rule. Yeah.
First of all, we've done that. We've done that plenty of times because we've always tried to encourage people to go, "Are you sure you don't want a bonus point here?" And then people have gone, "Yeah, actually, I will." So shut up, mate. And first of all,
I think we need an adjudicator.
You didn't even think this was going to happen until I just talked you into it. No, you did. No, you did. I just told you about that.
So no, I generally, the idea of the Usos costing them and then Roman taking a pinfall is just another level of what is happening with the Bloodline, especially because Solo being a brother to Jimmy and Jay. So if anyone's going to take it, they wouldn't allow it to be Solo. So pulling Solo out or something, Roman taking the pop-up power bomb or a haluva kick, stunner, whatever. I think it would be just such a good way. So I think the Usos will cost Solo and Roman or Bloodline, however you want to class them. So that's going to be my point.
So to be clear, with the bonus point, it's just on the Usos to cost Roman and Solo. It's not that the Usos are going to cause Roman Reigns to get pinned.
No. So it's Usos are going to cost Roman and Solo the victory.
Yeah, and I guess the thing is we have to be careful how we interpret this, because I like that example you gave there of they could pull out Solo, and you could argue, well, he didn't hit Roman, but pulling out Solo means Roman doesn't have the help for someone to break up the pin. Like, I guess that still includes that they are still costing the team, but what wouldn't be included, I guess, would be if they pulled him out, and
if they're like come on the Titantron or something. If it's like the Usos music comes over the Titantron,
well,
it's still costing them. No, that's still costing them because that's a distraction.
So essentially, so I guess anything that's basically the Usos coming down to ringside and having a direct influence in.
I would say
the outcome.
Usos if they influence the match, involvement in any way, shape, or form. If the Usos have any involvement in the match, that's what I'm saying. And because of that,
they lose because and it's clear they lose. See a correlation. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
All right then.
Is that broad enough?
Yeah, that makes sense. Dan, what are you doing? You're laying down a bonus point for the same, or?
So wait. So just to be clear, Rob, you're going with KO and Sami to retain.
Yeah.
Cool. So for me, I went into it thinking the same thing pretty much. So it's going to be Kevin and Sami gonna retain the titles. It's going to be, I had the same kind of thought process that the Usos are going to cost them, but I thought it would be Solo that would take the pin, because I just think they don't want to waste Roman getting pinned in a tag match. Like, you want the first time Roman to be pinned to be when he loses those titles.
Yeah.
Because I think that will make it as a much, much, much bigger deal, in all fairness. So I think Solo's probably there if they do lose to take the fall. Although something interesting is I could see Roman and Solo winning it, but then doing Scott's least favorite thing and like freebirding the titles with the Usos and being like, right, okay, let's basically build you guys up a little bit more. No, and then you basically have one Uso defends it with Solo each time. So Roman's like, right, Solo is now going to show you how to actually win. So Roman has, apart from the actual tag match, Roman will have no involvement with the tag titles at all.
Yeah, he like earned them and then okay.
Yeah, he's basically like, look, we've got the titles back in the Bloodline. I've had to do this myself to get them back in the Bloodline. Don't let me down.
Get
There's
on with
the belt
sort
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good
storyline. That's another way.
As much as I hate the
Freebird. It's not going to happen, but that's
it's a scenario.
But yeah, and it's something that is a WWE thing that you could legitimately see them doing. But I do think the more likely thing is the KO and Sami winning the match with the Usos' help. Or I don't know whether. See, the thing is, I don't know how specific to be, because I think the Usos will definitely cost them.
Yeah.
But it's whether it's intentional or not. Like, could it be that they come out to try and help them, but then or they'll go to like hit something on like Sami and he ducks and they catch Solo with it, or they catch Roman with it. You know, something like that potentially, where it's not intentional, I think is more likely than them just point blank screwing Roman and Solo out of it.
Yeah.
And you know what? Sod it. I'll chuck the bonus point on the Usos to cost them as well.
Let's see if Lucas does the same then. But
tell him and see what he suggests.
Just
see what he says.
This is a first time, I think, where we've all, other than Lucas being on the stream at the moment, we've all bonus points in the same thing for the same match for the same thing. So it's quite interesting.
Oh no, yours is already locked in, mate.
Oh, shut up, man.
No, it is interesting. Thoughts on, obviously, I know you said about the idea of first person pinning Roman is for the titles. Do you not like the idea of Sami doing it, being the only man that's been able to pin Roman, being Sami, and especially for the build of the Bloodline and things like that?
I think if Roman is to take the fall here, then it will be both of them pinning him.
I don't think that's right.
Maybe.
I think it needs to be Sammy because he didn't get his WrestleMania moment. He's on Cody.
But I think beating him is kind of
Yeah, I just think they're going to save Roman getting pinned for when he actually loses the title. Because you think they could then just be like, oh, well, Sami Zayn pinned him or Kevin Owens pinned him already in Saudi. Like, to be honest, we all know that Kevin Owens should have had that title back at when they did the Last Man Standing match. And Roman was in
because he was
and couldn't get out. But yeah, I mean, the thing as well, we've not even spoken about Paul Heyman. Like, Paul Heyman could even be involved somehow. Like, it could be that the Usos are like threatening Heyman, and then that distracts them. That kind of
even
stuff.
that though, when you really think about the Heyman situation, like, oh yeah, maybe he does it for the greater good or something like that, and Roman's kind of annoyed about it and doesn't understand it. I could see a storyline like that, but they've kind of done that already. Like, you forget, like, he left the Bloodline and came back. Like, it's so strange. There's still so many strange things about the Bloodline situation that needs to be wrapped up.
You know what else as well?
But then when they say to Heyman, "Why do you do it?" he just says, "I did it for The Rock."
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
I think Roman's being pinned because.
Do you want a double bonus point it?
Yeah. Do you want a bonus point Roman being pinned?
I might, because it's on 1,000 days. Roman being pinned on 1,000 days at Saudi.
Oh yeah. See, that's what's annoying, that he's not defending the title here as well.
I think that's amazing. That's what genius booking would that be. Roman being pinned on 1,000 days that he's been the longest champion. And when he gets pinned, he still doesn't lose the title. How clever is that?
Yeah, I get for him to come back as a heel and say, well, I'm still the champ. Like, I'm still 1,000 days would be kind of cool. But yeah, I just don't know if I don't know. It's strange that they haven't done that. They haven't done the title match, It's very strange.
Oh, I don't know.
So are you?
So hang on. If I double point that, So if we do a bonus point, we just lose. We lose a point, right? I'm just trying to think of how it works.
Yeah, it was.
If we bonus point it, we lose a point.
Okay, yeah. So at the moment you get 1 point for Kevin and Sami winning. Right.
Yeah.
So Kevin and Sami win, you get your 1 point. If then they win and the Usos cost the other team, then you'll get 2 points. Will be your total score. If the Usos don't, then your score will be back down to 0, pretty much.
It'll be 1 because you still like, but yeah, because if Roman still loses, at least it would be 1. But if they lose, so if you've got if it's Kevin and Sami, because you think Kevin and Sami are going to win as well, isn't it? So it all kind of goes on that as well. So
so basically, I would still get 2 points, but I would lose my bonus point if Roman didn't get pinned.
If Roman didn't get pinned,
so you get 1 point for winning the match.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Correct, and the correct pick.
Screw it, because I'm not losing a point. I'm gonna double bonus point if Roman's getting pinned.
Mate, it's like doing like a proper bet, isn't it? Like hedging your bets.
Do you want to bet on who do you want to do another one on who the referee's going to be and just do like a threefold on it or something?
Charles Robinson.
Go on, I dare you.
Little
triple bonus point. I dare you.
Nah, man. I think that's clever. I think that's really good. Like,
all right,
gets pinned on 1,000 days as a champion, and on that day that is 1,000 days, he still doesn't lose the titles. And on top of that, he loses out on tag team championships.
And it could just be like, it doesn't matter. Doesn't
matter. Right, and he's like, well, exactly. Next,
So essentially, then, if that happens, then Rob will get 3 points.
Yeah.
If everything happens, you get his normal point is the Usos costing and Roman being pinned. 3 points.
Yeah.
If
I'm doing it.
Only the Usos costing Roman, then it'll be 1 point if KO and Sami win.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, if KO and Sami win,
so leave it be.
Roman.
If KO and Sami win and none of that happens, you'll get the 1 for the win, back to 0 for getting the first bonus wrong, and -1 for getting the other one wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So the worst off you can be is -1. The best off you can be is 3. I think. Yeah. Maths is hard, boys.
Yeah, I'm good. You know what?
Especially when you put it in the predictors table.
And especially because obviously you and me shared a maths class, so we know.
Yeah, and I copied you, and that didn't do me much luck.
And Dan copied someone else.
And I can't. Yeah. And I'm still using my fingers to add up. So literally, once this table gets into double figures, we're screwed.
We're doomed. We're doomed.
Can we bring out the abacus?
So, yeah. Start taking my socks off and counting then.
I think that's the first time we've ever done a double point, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. First time we've done a double point.
Yeah.
First time we've all gone for a bonus as well. So it'd be interesting to see, what Lucas will do as well. But hopefully we'll be in the build up and we'll get to see if we all join us.
Should we have bonus point that the exact attendance is going to be like however many it is?
It's going to start getting mad, isn't it? It's like betting on corners in football. Like it's going to start getting mad.
First throwing.
Yeah.
Betting on who's going to bleed first in Cody and Brock.
Oh, that's a good one.
So I think
Brock
hard-way, right?
I reckon
it'll be Cody.
I reckon if Cody bleeds in this one, then the blow-off match could be first blood.
That'd be interesting.
Crazy if they do decide something like that after being against it. But yeah.
Cool. All right.
Well,
so I think
that brings us towards the end, does it?
Up the predictions.
Yeah.
I think it does. Just about brings us to the end.
I think we're in a bit of a delay there, so sorry if I'm talking over you. But I just wanted to let people know, of course, what we've got coming up the rest of this week, of course. Thanks to everyone that's joined us on the predictions, as always, including yourself, Dan and Rob. Always good to talk wrestling with you. But we will have our build-up. We've mentioned it a few times already. Tonight, hopefully, Lucas will be able to join us as well. And as usual these days, we have, guests from, fellow wrestling journalists, basically, from other channels kind of jump on and kind of give their input as well. It's a lot of fun doing this, getting yourself and ourselves hyped up for the PLE. And as it is at a reasonable time, we'll also be doing a watch along. So stick with us here as well on the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel to see our instant kind of thoughts as they happen, really, between matches like this one that you see there, and of course the other big matches on the night. And talking instant, we'll also be hitting you with an instant reaction review straight after it as well. And plenty of other content surrounding Night of Champions, whether it be on our Instagram, or even our Twitter at RM Pro Wrestling, or of course here on YouTube as well. If you haven't already, please subscribe. We really do appreciate all the support. So yeah, with that in mind,
Saturday, isn't it? Yeah,
that's on Saturday. Yeah,
that's
and again, nice for us at a reasonable time to watch a PLE, mate. I'm so excited to not be absolutely knackered watching it. So yeah,
and for the American viewers, it's going to be afternoon of Champions, not Night of Champions.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. The afternoon of Champions. Yeah.
It just doesn't have the same ring to it.
Nah, not quite. Yeah.
So cool. So yeah, I think that is probably just about everything from us on this episode, guys. Don't forget though to like, share, and subscribe, and tune in to all of what Scott has already mentioned there with the build up, the watch along, and the instant reaction on Saturday, the 27th of May. Don't know how many faces we're going to see on that one. Could be all four of us, could be loads more, or it might just be one person on their own. Who knows? Depends on how our schedules. Depends on how our schedules are like.
Yeah, but the audience will be our company, I'm sure. That'd be nice either way. So yeah, come and join us.
And yeah, thank you as well for the people that have commented as well. It does help us out a little bit because sometimes it can influence our predictions as well. So yeah, don't forget, guys, if you do tune into one of these, just drop a little comment in the comment box and we will read it out live on air as well. So yeah, thank you very much for tuning in, guys. I've been Dan. He's been Scott. He's been Rob. Thank you very much, guys. And we will see you at Night of Champions. Wait, hang on. Night of Champions. We're actually here, all three of us. Rebellious Noise Predictions.
Hey!
No, that's why we didn't invite Lucas. Champions only. So I don't have one.
Yeah, I'm sorry. As soon as I picked it up, I was like, he's going to mention it again.
And Rob's is like in the fridge, isn't it? Like the old WWE title.
Like the WWE title, CM Punk.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right, guys. Well, Take care, and we will see you guys very, very soon. Take care. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel, we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year, as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features, and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action.